experience actually going around the world is the opposite. I see that our credibility is more, is raising actually regarding all the topics, because we see what is happening in the world, and who is credible and reliable partner is European Union. If we see what is happening on different spheres. On the Palestine issue, we have been the biggest supporters of Palestinians in terms of supporting the Palestinian people, in terms of supporting the Palestinian Authority, in terms of supporting the Palestinian refugees, in terms of supporting also the reconstruction of Palestine. Every time that somebody raises this double standards issue, I also ask, beforehand to see how much they are doing for, Gaza and Palestinians. And usually, European Union action always trumps that. Yes, it is true that there are a lot of requirements also for Europe, especially now. I mean, everywhere I go, everybody is turning to us because US is withdrawing aid from everywhere. And it's clear that we can't do everything. But we also have our worries when it comes to Ukraine, where we are asking our partners who all ask us to be there for all the crises in the world, to come up with support. We are the biggest supporters in Sudan. We are the biggest supporters in Somalia. I mean, in terms of the mission there. I mean, I can list from all over the world. But where we have a problem, which is Ukraine. We are alone, and we are the biggest supporters there. Not completely alone, that is also not true, but this is that we also have our worries. So I would really push back on this issue, because we are doing a lot. Yes, we don't have a full agreement on all these issues, but suspension of the association agreement, will it stop the expansion on the West Bank? This is probably also not true. But at the same time, I mean, the proposals are there, but we don't have an agreement. So let's focus on those issues where we actually do have an agreement, and there's a lot.
Olivier, AFP.
Thank you, Olivier Beau from AFP, Agence France Presse. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Sorry. On the Ukraine and the Druzhba pipeline, President Zelensky just announced that it will resume its operation very soon. So do you expect now an agreement on the loan, on the 90 billion euros loan tomorrow at the Coreper?
Yes, like I said, we expect an agreement in 24 hours. So I don't want to jinx it. I hope that everything goes well, because we have seen some turns in this file. But this is the agreement that we had in December, and also, I mean, resuming this is a promise that Ukraine made. So hopefully, all the obstacles are removed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Also not here to make you jinx things, but I'm going to follow up from my AFP colleague's question about Druzhba. President Zelensky has said that it now can resume operation. Seeing as the Commission has spent money and sent experts to get Druzhba back up and running, can you tell us now, also because the SBU has blown up a pumping station in Russia, can you tell us now if oil can flow through Druzhba to Hungary as things stand? And if not, again following up on my AFP colleague's question, could that pumping station explosion risk jeopardizing your happy hopes for the next 24 hours? Thank you.
I may look like an oil expert, but I'm definitely not giving you an answer whether the oil will flow now, because I'm not an expert. What I can say is that, the promise was made by Ukraine, and that was the obstacle for our Hungarian colleagues, Slovakian colleagues. So this is the promise. It should not derail the decision.
We move on the other side, Mom, yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Momchu Injov, Brussels correspondent for Club Z Media from Bulgaria. High Representative, after Viktor Orban suffered a defeat, Russia sympathetic Prime Minister will come soon to power in Bulgaria after the parliamentary elections. So is there a fear of new Orban from Bulgaria, especially in the policy towards Ukraine?
Thank you. We are all 27 democracies, which means that we have elections, and elections people will choose their future. You know, before we do not have a government in place, and we have not seen how the new government acts, we will not, you know, go or jump ahead of the events. I think it's important that everybody comes to this table with the genuine interest in cooperation and also compromise, because it requires compromising for everybody. And I think, you know, in the beginning, everybody's treated with equal, you know, welcoming of new colleagues around the table to have, you know, agreements and cooperation with.
Independent media source, Euroscope from Georgia, Tamara Nutsubidze. I'm very interested to ask you what is the general mood of ministers regarding to the situation in Georgia, and also, for example, regarding to targeted sanctions. Do they believe that targeted sanctions could be an effective tool to encourage Georgian dream to